Hello everyone, so welcome back to the science lesson. Our lessons for today to be about matter and energy. Page 232. As you know the meanings of a matter is anything that has a mass and takes up space. Today we are going to learn the meanings of an energy, what the meanings of this term. Energy is ability to do work or to cause a change. When you do the works or when you do some exercise or when you eat, you need what? You need energy. It's mean energy is what? Is the ability of our body that we can do. Energy is the ability to do work to cause a change. And have you ever thrown a ball or pushed a grocery cart or run in a race? Of course, yes. When you throw a ball or when you push it a grocery cart, what will be happen? Those objects gain the energy from us. And this energy is be transferred from us to those objects. And this energy called the kinetic energy. The much smaller particles in matter are always moving from one place to another place at random. For example, it means matter is made up from tiny particles. Those tiny particles move from one place to another place. In all of the matter states, in a liquid state, in a gas state, and in a solid state. For example, the particle in a solid juggles back and forth like a pulse on a spring, and the particles in a liquid, for example, in a liquid, they move slide past each other. The particles in a gas move quickly in many directions. It means the tiny particles have a what? They have the kinetic energy that they can move. And the kinetic energy of particles in matter are called what? Is called the thermal energy. Those kinetic energy that the particles move from one place to another place is called what? Is called the thermal energy. We feel the thermal energy of the particles in matter as what? As a heat. We feel the thermal energy of the particles in matter as a heat. Here we have water boils when its particles are moving so fast that many begins to fly away from the surface. It means waters will be boil when the particles move so fast. It means they get more energy. Okay, the waters, it will be what? It will be boiled by the movements of the particles. And this happens when water's temperature is 100 Celsius. Okay? And when the liquid water freeze, when the liquid water freeze, what will be happen? The temperatures of waters it be the 0 Celsius. The ice cubes and the lemonites are at 0 Celsius, it be freeze. Here we have a temperature with the meanings of a temperature. The terms of temperature is a difference from the thermal energy. Temperature is a measure of the average temperature is a measure of the average energy of motions of particles in matter. It's mean when you want to know the temperatures of the some matter, you have to what? You have to take the average of the kinetic energy. Temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy, while the thermal energy is total of a kinetic energy. Average, it means when you have three numbers, you have to plus them, and then after you take the totals, after you get the totals of the numbers, you have to divide it to the numbers, and then you get the average. And the temperature, it's a look like this average. It's average of a kinetic energy, while the thermal energy is the totals of a kinetic energy in matter. And two pieces of matter can be at the same temperature but not have the same amounts of thermal energy. For example, the temperature of water, it be the boil at 100 Celsius, okay? When it's be one drop, or when it's be one glass of a water, they have same temperature, they will boil at 100 Celsius degree, but they have a different thermal energy, because the thermal energy will be more by the mass. It means the glass of water has more thermal energy than the drops of water, while the drops of water have the same temperatures like the glass of water. What's the difference between the temperature and thermal energy? It be your homework. And what does the temperatures measure? Measure what's temperature? Okay. And here we using thermal energy. How we can use the thermal energy? We can get the thermal energy by the burning fuels. How? When some things burn, it gets hot. Burnings release the thermal energy and light. What the meanings of fuels? Any material that can burn is called a fuel. It means anything that can burn, it be what? It be a fuel. When you burn the fuels, what do you get? You will get the thermal energy and light. Wood was the first fuels people used, and it is still used today. Wood contain a substance called carbon, and as you know that when carbons will be burned, it react with the oxygen's air, and then when the react with the oxygens, it produces the carbon dioxide, and plants use carbon dioxide for making a food. Many fuels contain carbon. Fuel oil and natural gas both contain carbon. Much of the thermal energies people use today comes from what? Comes from the burning the fuels that contain carbons. If I ask you much of the thermal energies pupils will get from what, you have to know that they will get from the burning the fuels that contain carbon. And here we have the solar energy. Solar energy, it means this energy that we can get from the sun. The energy given off by the sun is called solar energy. People use solar energy to heat water. They put solar panels on tops of their roof. Here we have roof. Okay, they put what? Solar panels. They used for heating the water. These waters can be used for the washing. And here we have an electric water heater. Contain a tank of water. Under the tank is an electric heating coil that heat the water. And the sun is the source of the most energies of the earth. Because of what? Even thermal energy is the thermal is fossil fuels such as coal and oil comes from what? Come from the sun. It means those energy that we can't, the thermal energy from the fossil fuels, it's come from the solar energy, because the these fuels have stored energy from plants and animals that lived long ago. When the animals got the plants make a food by the sun, by the sun's energy. And then when they will die, what will be happen? They will produce by its body, they will produce the fossil fuels. And those fossil fuels, when we burn, we can get the thermal energy. It means we get those thermal energy from what? From the solar energy. And here we have burning coals or leading thermal energy at many houses has this instead of the stove. In some houses, energy is used to warm the air directly, and in other used to heat water in radiation. And a gas stove burn natural gas, and the thermal energy released from the flame is used for cooking. Most of the electricity used in the Arab Emirates is produced by what? By the energy station that burn the fuels. It means we use the thermal energy for what? For heating water, for stoves, for the electricity, for anything it be useful that we can use the thermal energy. Hope you understand it well. And this ones and this questions it be your homeworks too, with the reviews question. Bye bye.